Allow me to get straight to the point. I've been a flight simmer for more years than I care to remember, and I have never flown gliders. They've never appealed to me at all. I like something with an engine, something with power. I like a real challenge. Well, I took the plunge yesterday and bought my first real glider for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's the Discus 2C, available for Xbox and PC. And why? Well, it's from Got Friends, who are established great developers, but mainly because friends of mine keep bleating on about how wonderful it is and why I should try it. So I thought, why not? It was just over £12, it would be about $15 US, and at least then I've tried it. I've started with a basic flight plan. We'll start from an airport that comes with the glider and a short hop to ZLMC. If you want help on flight planning, then see these videos, link in the notes below. And if for your flight simming you're looking for assistance in terms of navigating and correct procedures, I recommend FS Academy. Regular followers of my channel will be aware I'm a big fan of FS Academy's flight training modules, available for both PC and Xbox. If you want to be a better pilot or looking for something as a refresher, with each individual package dealing with a different aspect of piloting and navigating in an easy module by module style that you can do in your own time, then you should look to FS Academy, available for both PC and Xbox. Full support for gliders is still to be implemented in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but Got Friends has got you covered by the inclusion of 4 special presets, especially useful to Xbox pilots as we currently can't use third-party add-ons. The presets are winter, summer, ridge and cross-country. For this flight, as we're in mountains, we're going to choose ridge soaring, and this will help provide the winds you need for gliding. Let's go fly! Welcome back to the Simhanger. My name's Mark. Thanks for watching and let's get started. We start in the cockpit of the Discus 2C. I am by no means an expert, so this is not a tutorial or how-to or even a review. This is about my first serious attempt to fly a glider. In fact, this is my 3rd flight. I didn't record the other 2. They honestly ended with tears, so I'm giving you no promises. Needless to say, however, as you can see, the quality of the texturing and everything is excellent. I still have much to learn, but first order of the day, well, let's close the canopy. This is done by pulling on this lever here to pull the canopy down, and there's a really cool animation as the glare shield drops down. That was unexpected, but certainly impressive. Most of the controls are fairly simple, so you can get in the air fairly quickly. I'll just hide the flight stick, master battery on, and the switch next to that is to provide power to the electric motor. Yes, I've cheated. I've chosen the model that does have a small prop, a small electric motor. Too terrified to try the one without. Nav lights on, pitot heat on, and let's put some lights on the glare shield. Now to switch on the FES or front electric sustainer. This provides information on the electric motor, and above the central display unit there's a number of switches or buttons that you can change various displays with. I get a map view, and thankfully my flight plan is in there, and you can do a split screen and have various different things indicating, which of course is very helpful, but my main focus will be staying off the ground, of course. That's about all the preparation we need to do, so it's time, let's get away. Click on connect to attach the winch. Then we select launch, and the moment of terror begins. This simulates you being launched into the air via a winch. Once you select this, the wings will come level to simulate the crew holding the aircraft level. There's an all too short countdown, and we're off. Speed indicator is above the main display, and we're up. Pulling back on my flight stick, and bottom right is my altitude indicator. I'm still connected to the winch. You can see the progress there on the graph in the main display. It'll pull me to about 70 degrees and then automatically release me, or I could use the yellow handle and cut the cable myself. I wonder if he'd be good enough to tow me to ZLMC. I'm not holding myself particularly straight, as you can see in the target indicator on the main display. The straighter and more aligned you are, the better lift you'll get. Oh dear, we're on our own. Winch cable has released. I need to turn around 180 degrees, so I'm going to push my throttle forward and engage the little prop at the front of the glider. This is not enough for you to fly by, but adds a little bit of extra lift. damn, I think I left my parachute in the clubhouse. I must say this is more challenging than I expected it to be. Need to keep my eye on the speed. There's a danger of stall, of course, and I'm right on the edge of that. The gauge to the left of my speed indicator is vertical speed, or variometer I think they call it in a glider, and I am climbing just a small amount, but having to drop the nose to keep the speed up. Get too slow, it gets very sloppy, and you can stall and a wing will fall very quickly. I speak from experience. The gauge on the right with a white ring round it is called a V8 variometer, I believe. This indicates the wind direction and emits a sound indicating whether you're climbing or descending. And as you saw earlier, I've turned the sound down for your viewing comfort and also to assist me in lowering the stress levels. Just trying to position myself over a bit of the high ground to get some lift. Hopefully we'll find some updrafts there. We can see the wind is coming almost straight down the valley. It's at a slight angle. Hopefully we'll catch some lift on this ridge. And we are climbing. Now cutting the electric motor, hopefully I'll get enough lift. And if I flew all the way with the electric motor, well, you'd all probably say I'm cheating anyway. The FES or FCU on the left hand side has a number of bars which show how much battery is left. You can see one of them has turned blue, so I probably have around 90% of power left in the battery. I'm not getting too much lift at the moment, but I'm not descending either, which is a good thing. Okay, so we've successfully turned 180 degrees. Now a quick check on the primary display at the map. I'm going to take advantage of this valley and follow it down. I still need to gain some altitude, and then there'll be a left-hand turn towards ZLMC. But you know what I've forgotten to do? I haven't retracted my landing gear. That's certainly not helping with the lift. Gear up now, and of course this will just help keep the aircraft more streamlined. The Discus 2C also has spoilers. This substantially reduces your lift and your speed and helps with the descent. We can see the spoilers deployed on the wing. Let's see if we can get a cockpit view of the spoilers being deployed. To activate, we push in this blue handle, and the spoilers should pop out. There they go. These would most typically be used on final approach. We're still enjoying a little bit of lift. One thing you may be surprised to know is that most gliders, and the Discus 2C for sure, carries water as ballast. This is the water valve, and you'd open the valve typically for landing and get rid of any additional ballast. Whilst it makes climbing more difficult, it can make for a smoother and faster flight. This is the elevator trim up and down. Behind the pilot on the left hand side is the oxygen bottle. I'm not sure, but I don't think you can activate this in the Xbox version. On the right hand side we've got the GoPro, and clicking on it you can change your camera view to be one typical of a GoPro camera. As a pilot, you're taught to constantly scan your instruments. And what I've learned is a glider is absolutely no different. If anything, I probably scan them more often. I would argue that your situational awareness needs to be actually at a higher level in a glider than it would typically be in an aircraft. What I mean by that is you're always got to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of where you currently are. We're coming up on our first waypoint and we'll be turning left and heading towards ZLMC. We'll be following the valley down. If you maintain a relatively modest speed, what it does do is give you the opportunity to enjoy the absolutely amazing scenery in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We've now made our turn and ZLMC is just down the valley ahead a couple of nautical miles. We departed in the early morning and the sun really just starting to rise now. At the time of publishing this video marks a birthday for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's 2 years old today, and whilst it's had its problems, it's certainly come a long way. What a magnificent flight sim this is. And what a great experience it is on the Xbox. In my opinion, it's been a momentous achievement. Well, I think that's our destination ahead, but we've got to start thinking about descending. And the first thing we need to do is probably get rid of the ballast. The manual says do it early, as it can take up to 6 minutes to drain. Valve is now open, and that's the water coming out. Nice animation. There's our airport on the right hand side. We're going to fly past, loop round and go in for a landing. Whichever way we land, we're going to be facing quite a crosswind, as is indicating on the V8 gauge. Oh good, just what I needed. You'll notice that little bit of string or cord waving on the windscreen. That's our slip indicator and is an important and primary indicator for any glider pilot. Quick external view, and it looks like our ballast tanks are empty. All the water's gone, so we can now close the valve. Ballast valve is now closed, and we've just passed the runway. We'll continue to hold this direction, but I'm now feeding in elevator trim to help me descend, as currently we're far too high to turn on to final. I'll let the airspeed build for now, and then deploy the spoilers as needed. Check out that wing flex, so very realistic. I'm continuing to descend and speed is building, so now deployed the spoilers. And now, one eye at all times on the speed. Happy to slow to, I'm gonna guess something around 120 or thereabouts. Lose a bit more height and then we'll be ready to turn on to final. I'm allowing the speed to judge when I deploy the spoilers and when to retract them. I find them super efficient at slowing the aircraft down. Well, we're a couple of nautical miles now past the airport, and I think it's time to start turning for our final approach. Runway 08. I just wish the sim had been a little kinder and not given me such a strong crosswind. Yes, I'm getting my excuses lined up well in advance. Plenty of room to turn here, but do need to slow down a little bit. Employing a little bit of side slipping to help me lose altitude. Airport's a little difficult to spot with the sun being behind those mountains. There's a lot of glare. I think I can see it just a margin to the right of the nose. Gear down. Keeping my spoilers deployed for now and pushing the nose down. Still feel a little bit high. Spoilers retracted, don't want to get too slow. Now where's that runway? There it is, I can just make it out. I need to come a little bit to the right to line up. I'm flying today using the Thrustmaster HOTAS 1 with rudder pedals. I need to ease my grip on the HOTAS 1. Here we go, fighting to remain aligned with the runway. The wind is pushing me fairly strongly to the right. Just getting a little bit too slow there, so spoilers retracted again. Rather be a little bit too fast than too slow. Using my rudders to help me crab in and maintain my alignment. Altitude feels about right. Spoilers away so I can maintain more airspeed. This is both difficult, intense and very enjoyable. This is looking good. This is going to be my best landing yet. We're down. Oh, dipped a wing. Well, looks like we're heading for the grass. It's still my best landing, however. Whew. Well, by not flying gliders, I didn't know what I was missing. It's a real challenge. Are glider pilots wimps? Well, no, quite the reverse. Huge amount of skill is required, and a skill I've yet to attain. To glider pilots, respect. Do you fly gliders or don't you? Let me know in the comments section. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you found this useful and entertaining. See you soon, take care, and bye for now.